Hello everybody, welcome back. It's another episode of Cape Rugby TV, where every week we take a look at what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. We've got a nice full show for you this evening, but before we get going with that, big thanks of course to our partners on board with us. Score Energy Drinks on board with Western Province Club Rugby and the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. MChem 24-hour pharmacy down on the N1 and Durban Road, and of course Thorburn Specialized Services, your one-stop shop for sports events, from sponsorships to waste disposal to medical and pretty much everything that you need for a sporting event. Before we take a look at tonight's lineup, let me introduce you to my panel. Back on the hot spot as usual, Jerome Parvata, welcome back.
Yeah, JP, back again. Last week flew, and I think this week is also busy. Times are flying.
Yeah, and finally back in studio with us, Nazim Adams. Nazim, nice to have you back.
And nice to be back, JP. It has been a while.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be back.
Everything with us that we've had with you in the last 2 years has been online.
Yeah, because of COVID.
Yeah.
Luckily, I can come in now, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, but you've been busy. I mean, the last 2 years, Jerome and I have touched on this a lot, is that the amount of, so it's a great time for us to ask you about this, then we'll talk more in the show as well. You've done so much online education in the last 3 years.
Yeah, JP, I must say, if it wasn't for technology, we wouldn't have been able to do anything. But due to technology, we've been able to do some online stuff. And luckily, for the last couple of years, we started to do some face-to-face level 1 and level 2s coaching courses. So we're quite happy with that, how it's going on. Quite a number of coaches attended the course, and we're quite happy with that.
It's of course behind the scenes stuff, you know, people don't see that kind of stuff. Jerome, we've spoken about that a lot, is most people don't see everything that happens behind the scenes. I mean, you've got thousands of coaches coming through your ranks, and it's a new era of coaching that as a coach now, you guys are educating physically, you're educating online, and there's a lot of different ways to do it now.
Yeah, and one good thing about us in Western Province is, I mean, myself and Nazim, we still pretty much hands-on everyday coaching. Yeah. And I mean, what better is for us to give back to the coaches who come on these courses. And I mean, Nazim has been doing this for quite a long time, and I mean, they get first-hand from coaching experience to educational experience. So I think we blessed to have all these coaches here and to give them feedback, and I think Nazim has been doing a great job with them so far.
Nazim, the other side of it is, of course, just like you guys are busy with the education, everybody here, it also creates an opportunity for where both of you have been invited to attend other functions, international workshops, international lectures, international exposure via the online platform.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm saying is, due to technology, I mean, it is so that we be able to tap into courses, go onto Zoom or on Teams, international platforms, and also as a rugby, they have been conducting quite a number of courses online as well.
Mm. Well, we're going to talk to Nazim a lot more about that still during the course of the show. A couple of highlights for you from matches today, folks. We're really going to take a look at the match between Stel, Evergreens and Blakes. Of course, you'll know that that's a massive, massive derby, so we're very happy to have that footage. And of course, another derby is Hamadias against Violets. So some great club rugby action. Of course, we'll take a look at all your logs, results and fixtures. But now let's take a look at the first half highlights. Stel, Evergreens. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Well, there we go, from Stel Evergreens. A great game. Of course, as we know, it's really a typical derby match there. Jerome, your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, look, you can see, I think the first half van der Stel is pretty much in control of the game. They just scored there at the end of the first half. They scored a great try. But Blake's also full of running. I think there was a couple of times where they could have scored, but didn't get the points.
Nazim, when you have a game like that where there's two teams who live probably, I would say, well, they must be 5 kilometers away from each other. That's a real derby match when you've got players that are so closely connected.
Yeah, but that is what you expect. You can see, I mean, the intensity in that game. I mean, and the passion in that game. I must also admit that one try is quite a beautiful try. Eh? I mean, that is what we want. That wide play scoring that wing in the corner. Great score.
It's from a coaching point of view, are you happy that the teams are getting, are you seeing the kind of coaching come out onto the field there?
Yeah, you can definitely see. If you can see, there's some nice shape.
Yeah.
And what I'm like is the way they're going, from edge to edge. Yes. And create that space on the outside and score in the corner. That was a great finishing.
Jerome, advice for Blake's here? They're going to go into the first half now. They are behind 13-3. Any advice for them?
Yeah, I think what they look. I know all these clubs they like to run, but if you play against a defensive side like Van der Stel with the great defenses, then sometimes you can see there's a lot of kick space in behind. So sometimes you have to kick also, let them turn, and take it and play from there and make things happen. But you can't just try and run from everywhere on the field.
All right, folks. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back from the break, we're going to take a look at the second half between Van der Stel Evergreens and Blake's. Back in a sec. Don't go away. Right, so welcome back, folks. You're watching Cape Rugby TV here on Cape Town TV, DSTV channel 263 every Wednesday, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tell all your friends, and of course we repeat on Saturday mornings from 9 a.m. through to Saturday morning. You'll know, of course, then that we were watching the highlights in the match between Van der Stel Evergreens and Blake's. Nazim, I asked Jerome this question. Tips for Blake's who were behind in the second half. Anything you're giving them? Maybe Blake's if they want to catch up now?
Yeah, I think, JP, it's about holding on to the ball as well, putting the defense under pressure. And when the space is out wide, then they can use it. But like Jerome said, I mean, space is space. Whether it's kick space or running space, you need to utilize that. Okay, you don't just force things, and make use of that space and see if you can utilize that.
Right, well, let's take a look and see what's happening in the second half. Van der Stel Evergreens against Blake's. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, there we go. So, final result then. Stel Evergreens walking away with that one, 21 points to 10. Jerome, your thoughts there?
Yeah, if I just look at the Stel forwards, too strong, set pieces, scrums, the lineouts, they were controlling the set pieces, so it's tough and it's difficult with a big pack of forwards that Van der Stel have for Blakes to compete against them. So yeah, it's just, but Van der Stel this whole season, they were in control of most of the games.
Yeah, your thoughts, Nazim?
Yeah, I agree with Jerome. Van der Stel's forwards very strong. But if you also look at Blake's, they're good when they have ball in hand, but they definitely need to work on their defense as well. I mean, their alignment and spacing is not good, and they're not really connected on defense. So if they can improve on that and stop teams from scoring, and because it's quite clear when they have ball in hand, they're quite potent when they attack.
Yeah. Well, we'll take a look at the logs a little bit later in the promotion league. We managed to catch up with the coaches and captains on the side of the field. Blake's assistant coach William Hendrickse, as well as captain Grant Kennedy, Van der Stel Evergreen's head coach Alistair Sigelaar, as well as captain Selwyn Reuters. Let's hear what they have to say. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions.
Ons het goeie rugby opgeleverd vir die paar wedstryde in die liga en in die top 9. Maar ek dink ons kanse is nog nie verlore nie. Ons het nog twee kanse wat ons definitief 5 punte moet gaan kry om die liga of die top 9 klaar te maak. En ek dink ons kanse is in ons eie hande en ek dink ons kan dit doen. Ons preparation was goed. Manne het hulle goed voorberei, manne was ingestel vir hierdie game. En ek dink ons manne was bietjie over eager. Manne het baie foute gemaak op vital tye, het hulle foute gemaak. Maar ek dink ons manne kan hulle koppe hoog hou. Ons het nie te sleg gespeel nie. Maar soos jy sê, dit is maar altyd maar Van der Stel Blakes is altyd maar tough. Is maar soos jy sê, manne ken mekaar en dis maar altyd ek wil beter as jy wees, ek wil vir jou wys ek is beter as jy. Maar wat ek wil sê is alle krediet aan Van der Stel. Hulle het die kanse benut en hulle het die game gewen.
Ja, baie goeie seisoen. Ons het begin by die league en ons gesê ons top 9 gaan, ons het op 9 gehaal, maar die top 9 en ons drome vir Super League is nog nie verby nie, is nog 2 games oor. Ons kan maksimum punte optel. Ons gaan hard werk die week om my maksimum punte kan optel want ons wil opgaan. Ja, dit dankie. Eerste sê ons papa Jesus wat ons deurgedra het deur 'n spesiale dag, historiese dag kan ons maar sê waar twee gemeenskappe moet saam konklusies wil in hier in die dorp en so dis maar altyd 'n groot die mense die bekgevegte gaan maar aan op die sosiale media so ja. Maar ek sê net gesê geluk aan wie hulle was die beter span. So ek weet hulle gaan fisies voor wees. So ons het opgestep om te gaan sê ons deur hard gewerk in ons forwards. Ons lyn staan en ons scrums te perfek en die dag die vrugte afgepik, maar hulle was die dag die meer hongerspan vandag op die veld.
Ja, natuurlijk. Ik bedoel, dit was een taffe seizoen geweest zover. Als je denkt, ons het letterlijk in 2019 laatst een keer rugby gespeeld. So, het was goed om een beetje van een opbouwende seizoen te gehad en om bij jouw 16e wedstrijd vandaag uit te komen. Ja, maar ons het baie karakter geweest over die paar wedstrijden en ik is trots op hulle vir dit. Ja, typische derby. Ik bedoel, als ook kijk naar die nummers wat die was vandaag, het was briljant geweest. Groot dankie aan wie die iets supporters van vandaag. Dit was great om al die nummers te zien op je veld. En het moet zeker lekker wees voor die mensen om een beetje uit te komen, om te komen rugby kijken. Maar ja, weer eens, ons het great karakter geweest. Ik denk ons het een baie duidelijke plan gehad van hoe ons wil spelen vandaag en die ouens het great gedaan. Ja, ik denk dat moet je hoed afhalen voor die voorzitter en die president van die club en natuurlijk hier is van die bestuur ook. Allemaal het regtig hard probeer om die club te vat waar hulle graag die club wil hê wat ons super seer is. En dan natuurlijk die spelers ook. Die ouens het hard gewerkt van vroeg Januarie af tot en met nou toe. En ja, soos jy gesê het, is ons laaste home game geweest en ons ten minste bly dat ons die mense kon trots maak vandag.
Ja, ek dink ultimately het dit gegaan oor spectators. Ultimately het dit gegaan oor spectators en eerstens wat ek ook wil sê is alle eer aan die man van God. Right, want dit is actually waar men ons prep voor elke game en vir die week. En die spectators glo ek het vir ons nog altyd gedra. Selfs as moet kyk ons voorbereiding, ons energy drinkies, saam met 'n skriffie wat vir ons gedra het en ons vat niks vir granted nie. En ek dink dis die mense wat vir ons deurgedra het basically vir die dag. Rens, om eerlik saam jou te wees, ons het nog geen span onderskat nie. Ons het almal gerespek. tot en met ons opdryf tussen die 4 lyne en dan is daar no more turning around. Ons vat alles saam en ons gaan doen dit op die veld, right? Ons gaan Atlantis toe met die doel actually om die jaar te gaan voltooi en om hom baie goed af te sluit. Ons vat weer eens niks vir granted en ons wil baie graag net die klub opvat. Daai is ons doelwit vir die jaar.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, there we go. Jerome, well, Nazim, let's start with you. I mean, you know these guys. You know them all personally.
Yeah, so good to see Alistair. I mean, I've coached him at school level and at provincial level, yes.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, Alistair was a really talented scrum half, and he played at provincial level, and he actually did very well. So it's very nice seeing him at club level, using his knowledge, former players plowing back into a club level.
Yeah.
Really great.
I suppose, Jerome, for you guys, a lot of these guys look up to you guys as your mentors. They're the one, they understand that they're on the field today because you guys created those opportunities.
Yeah, as Nazim said, we both coach Alistair, and what a great player. And he also spent some time up in the Lions, playing Currie Cup for the Lions, which is good. And it's good to have that experience and acknowledge. And it's always good to see ex-players, what we want, plowing back. So that's good. And one good thing, Nazim, what Alistair, I mean, he give credit to the management. He give credit to the chairman, to the whole management of the club, because you don't get coaches acknowledge that people. And with this, the captain also acknowledged the spectators. I don't know what they do, but he say they give them like energy drinks before the time, and there's they write something for each and every player, which is good of the club. So the whole community is involved, and that's so good. And I mean, we know Charles Williams put a lot of work in at that club there. So that's also good. Also Charles, an ex-player, ex-coach, and it's good to see that, and you can just be successful.
It's exactly what the kind of thing that's needed in sport, community sport, and this sort of recognition on all levels, recognition for the players, the administrators, and of course the volunteers that make the system work at a club level. All right, folks, well, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we are going to take a look at the first halves and second halves of the match between Hamadias and Violets. So another derby match on the cards, but don't go away. Remember, we've still got the Score Energy Drink competition coming up, and we're going to tell you a little bit more about MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. So don't go away. Back in a sec. Right, welcome back, everybody. We might as well get straight into it now. Hamadias up against Violets. Jerome, and this is another derby match now. Big match, this.
It's another derby, and it's also like the players know each other and it's tough. I mean, for us, we always like Nazim. We're always afraid. Say if we play the Bulls or the Cheetahs, or whoever, is there somebody watching? So I don't know what these guys are saying because people are walking past each other. Sometimes they're in the same training field, so it's good, and then it just shows like, look, you don't have to worry every time if they know what you do or whatever. It's just, it comes down to execution in your game plan.
Is that? I mean, but derby matches. I mean, Nazim, when it comes to derby matches, there seems to be like, you've got to really keep your head in the game. Otherwise, it's all systems go. Anything goes on the day.
Yeah, JP, anything goes. Like they say with derby, it's not about who's playing the best rugby. It's really hard.
Who's got the spirit?
With the spirit. Who's prepared to give everything.
Well, then, of course, the big thing is to have the bragging rights at the end of the day. So let's take a look now. First half, Hamadias against Violets. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, so Hamadias then going 10-6 into the lead there in the first half. I think they'll also bring some of the Masiphumelele memories with them. Jerome, you seem to have a big smile there.
No, it seems like they really don't like each other, those two clubs. If you just look at the tackles in the hits that goes in there, like, and it's big boys.
Yeah.
It's good to see.
All legitimate?
No, all legitimate, but that is perfect. That's actually how you want guys to tackle guys back.
Yeah.
You talk about dominant tackles, but all the tackles here are basically dominant, so you can see it's a typical derby. So if I have you, I don't have and get you again, so I must finish you off if I have.
But that's what you want, though. I mean, Nazim, that's what you want. You're looking for players who get onto the field to remember that you've got 80 minutes out of your entire week. You have 80 minutes to put it all out there, and there's not going to be 81 minutes. If you don't do it then you would have lost that opportunity.
No, I must admit, JP, I didn't expect anything less for those two teams. I mean, that forwards, they just going for one another. It was a forward battle, royal there inside. I mean, that is what you want.
Yeah.
I mean, traditionally, these two teams, they always pride themselves on their forwards.
Well, there's also a reason. I mean, there's a reason why they're in the promotion league. They've had, both teams have had an excellent season so far.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, it was also good for Hamadias. They had one opportunity where the defense was a little bit tight, and they used that opportunity to score out wide. But otherwise, it was just they go for one another in that forwards.
Right, folks. Well, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, as you know, on the corner of N1 and Durban Road, they are your one-stop shop for pretty much everything that you need. Easy to find, and of course, all those fantastic services. Remember, coffee shop upstairs, free parking outside. Of course, they're open 24/7. There's a travel clinic, there's a dispensary, there's a surgical and orthopedic zone, there's the sports nutrition supplement section upstairs, and of course, everybody is there, very helpful, but fantastic to have experts there. There's nursing sisters on duty. The amount of things that you can find at MChem, of course, I could carry on going. Of course, if you're looking to buy something, well then MChem has to be your first stop. And interestingly enough also is that if they don't have it, they will find it for you. Mr. Malach and Joel and Lee, their aim is the gold standard at MChem, to make sure that they've always got the best products at the best prices. That's, of course, at MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. And remember, of course, they can also help you with your various vaccinations. So, for example, if you need a flu vaccine, then that is where you can go to for MChem, or at least to get it, at MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy. Folks, remember, you have to think about your health, so they can also help you with those other testing, for testing your blood sugar and other critical wellness elements. Get down to MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec. All right, so we've been waiting for this moment now to see what's happening there in the second half between Hamadias and Violets. They're, of course, playing at Fixtures, so home ground advantage for at least for Hamadias. Let's take a look now. Second half highlights, or at least, yes, we'll get to the full-time score in a second. Here's your second half. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, so there we go. Final score then, Hamadias winning 22 points to 16. But Jerome, looking at those, some of those tries there, this game looks like it could have gone anyway.
Yes, it could have. I mean, 5 points or 1 try away from each. Anyone could have won this game. So tough luck to Violence there. But we were just talking in the previous game about the kick space, and I think Hamadias scored 2 tries about kick, good follow up from the wing and score. So you can use that also. Like we said, we don't just have to play. So good vision of Hamadias and kicking in behind, get at the ball and score.
But I think Nazim, like going to what you were saying earlier on about space. If you're going to create space, you've also got to make sure that you do the inverse, is cover space that you leave open.
Yeah, 100%. What it also shows is that when you train, you also need to cover all aspects of the game. If you look like Jerome is saying is the high ball, you can see they were a little bit suspect under the high ball, and that one it resulted in a try, and the other one was the restart. They missed the restart, and it resulted in a try for Hamadias, and it just shows you that those things you need to train that also, you know.
Well, I tell you one of the things that you cannot train. Well, let's quickly look at some of the results that we've got there, folks. Of course, it was a win for Northerns, at least for Atlantis, 34-22 over Northerns this past weekend. As you saw, of course, Hamadias winning 22-16 over Violets, and Van der Stel Evergreens 21-10 over Blakes. That puts Van der Stel Evergreens back in top spot on the log in the promotion league. Van der Stel Evergreens, followed by Hamadias, and then Violets is in 3rd place, followed by Blakes. So Van der Stel have managed to secure that spot back this week. We'll take a look at that again more a little bit later. Right, one of the things that you can't prepare for is, of course, the Spot the Ball competition, where every week we give somebody an opportunity to spot the ball. Jerome Parvater generally has a pretty good idea on it, but like me, probably gets it wrong most of the time. Nazim, this is going to be your first time in studio to have a go at this. So what we do is every week we give one winner, one of our Facebook members an opportunity to spot the ball. So what you have to do here is you've got to take a look and see if you can think, where do you think the ball is? A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. Now that looks to me like a match between Unimil and Marties. Jerome, should we go with you first? Nazim is concentrating so hard here.
I'll go B3.
You're going to go with B3? All right. And Nazim, would you like to give it a shot?
I think Jerome have a good chance to be right, but let's go with the C3.
You're going to go with C3? Yeah, I'm going to go with... see his hands, he's passing the ball. Jerome is thinking the ball's probably heading that direction. I'm going to go with B1 just for fun. Let's take a look here. Oh, C3. Nazim, you've got it.
First time lucky.
First time lucky, yeah. You see, Jerome, I don't know if this is sneaky like this, eh? All right, folks, did you enjoy that? All right, lots of fun and games there with the Spot the Ball competition. We never know which direction to go. Congratulations to Marlene Powering. Marlene, we'll be in touch with you on Facebook, and you win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks. We'll take a break. When we come back from the break, folks, we'll wrap it up with the logs, results, and fixtures coming up this weekend. Right, welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. Nice to have you back along. Well, as you know, of course, we now go into the semi-finals of the Super Leagues. They are now finally up. Of course, heading towards the finals shortly. Jerome, one of the big games, of course. I mean, it's now down to the top 4, the last 4, put it that way, in the semi-finals. My understanding is everybody's playing at City Park.
Yeah, everybody played at City Park, and I think the first game started 1.
Probably around 1 o'clock. So, yeah.
And then the main games are at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. So let's start off with probably what would be the first game then, Super League C, 2 games, in fact, because obviously there's an A and a B field there. So Strand is going to be up against Kylemore. Those 2 teams have also got a bit of a flavour for each other. They went through Super League C. They know what to expect.
Yeah, I mean, they know each other. They've played each other, so they pretty much know each other. And I mean, Strand, great season. Kylemore, great season.
Yeah.
So it's do or die. If you don't make it Saturday,
What do you
then
do?
you're basically out.
Nazim, when you were talking about it earlier on, what are you doing? What is going through your mind when you know it's a semi-final? I mean, Jerome said it to us last week. He says, you put everything on the table. You don't hold back. You don't play games with not selecting certain players.
I think the main thing when it comes to playoffs, JP, is sometimes you want to do more. And I think less is more. Rather just focus on those stuff that you've been done and it worked throughout the season.
Yeah.
And just focus on that. But don't try to, all of a sudden you want to do an extra contact session or you want to do an extra training session. No, just keep doing what worked for you right throughout the year.
Jerome, yeah?
Yeah, no, it's true what Nazim said. I went a few years ago. I went to Kenya because I've been coaching Kenya, the national team. But the club asked me to come to their finals, and so one club asked me to come and join in their kit presentation. So I saw this guy in the lift with me, going up to the team room. So this guy had jerseys on hangers. So on like normal rugby jerseys. So I think this guy is selling jerseys. So this was actually the guest speaker.
Right.
So it's an ex-old rugby player. So he went in there, and each and every jersey he wants to explain what is this jersey and what. So the coach were getting irritated, the players were getting irritated, and I think that's what Nazim is saying. Don't do funny stuff. Just focus on what worked for you this season, but don't do funny stuff.
Maybe not done the right way, but small little traditions like that. Something, I mean, you guys do a little motivational thing before each game. Just a short one that puts you back, gets your mind in the game.
Yeah, that's good. That's what we normally are doing,
Yeah.
But that we'll do for basically for every game,
Yeah.
So what we are saying is don't do extra training sessions or bring in people that doesn't even know the culture of your team. Now they have long speeches, and players are getting irritated. Training sessions, 1 hour sessions, all of a sudden become 2 hour sessions. You don't want those type of things. Try to keep it as simple as possible throughout the week.
Yeah.
Something that the players are used to.
So sticking to the basics is the tip then for Strand and Kylemore. Jerome, the other one is CPUT up against Macassar.
Yeah, not a big one, and I think CPUT really want to, because I mean for them it's good. They play in a sort of in the varsity shield, so it's good for them. But also Macassar for their community, that's also good. So it's a lot of pride and it's a lot at stake for both of these teams. I mean, all want to play in Super B. They know what it takes to play in Super B. And I think both of those teams can play in Super B, but it's going to be tough for both of them. And it's about how you manage your guys this week and how you get your guys ready for the game and on the day itself.
Yeah, so that's of course CPUT Macassar. I mean, Nazim, you've also had some experience with these players. Super League C, strong league again. Same applies, basics I suppose.
Yeah, and I think it will be an entertaining game. If you look at, the students and Macassar also, they like running rugby.
Yeah.
So it will be something nice for the crowd to come and watch.
Let's move on to Super League B. It's Helderberg is going to be up against Belhar, and then Hands and Hearts against St. George's, semi-finals then. I'm right, of course, the two top team, the two winners of these 2 games, Jerome, they go into the finals, right? So that's what's going to be the big one then later on. Helderberg and Belhar have come a long way now. We spoke about this sort of Super League A mentality. All of these teams have got this flavour for what it means to play big league rugby.
Yeah, look, I don't know if I'm correct, but I think Helderberg hasn't lost a game this season. I think I'm correct there in saying that I don't think if they lost a game. I don't. Yeah, so they in the danger with this is, Nazim, is also like, you know, you go through the season, you don't lose a game, and then come this last game, then again you're doing funny stuff, and they haven't played in a while. Helderberg, Bellar has been playing, so it's tough for Helderberg to motivate their guys, but I think they're a good team, but Bellar is definitely going to put him under pressure.
Like you said, Jerome, it's a pressure of being the favourites. I mean, that comes with attack. You haven't lost a game for the whole season. Now you're under lots of pressure because everybody expects you to win.
But that I think Koos Ekstien, who we had on the show before, he mentioned the fact that the secret to winning these games is making sure that you've got all the boxes ticked at the right time. You do the work beforehand, tick all the boxes on the day.
No, it is. I'm a believer. I'm a believer that you must lose a game during the season. The reason for that is your players become big-headed, and it's almost like they're untouchable. So you need to get them back on track. So as a coach, I hope they look for something this week during this training, just to get them down on their feet and say, hey, you haven't won the thing yet, so just stay calm and just focus on what you have to do.
But that comes down to coaching, discipline, remembering the basics. Does that not, Nazim, maybe come a lot down to the, if you've done all the physical work, doesn't that then come down to the mental side of things?
Yeah, it comes, and it's also about your culture. I mean, if your club have that culture where everybody is level-headed, grounded, and they know, that they need to treat every game as an important game, you know. Then it's going to be much easier for them. As Jerome is saying, that if your culture isn't right, players will start thinking, look, we just need to pitch up and then we're going to win the game.
Yeah, the culture.
And that's not going to happen.
How do you coach culture? You've been coaching now and coaching education for a long time. How do you coach that?
No, you
Is
can't
that
coach
just-
culture,
you can't coach
JP.
culture?
It's habits. It's
Yeah,
habits that
yeah,
you
yeah.
create, and that you can only do over a period of time. It doesn't happen in a week or two. It's over a period of time. Is something you need to work on physically. Yeah.
But that must be one of your things, though. I mean, you get hundreds of coaches coming through the ranks with you. They can, on paper, they can look all right. You can do all the tick boxes.
Yeah.
But then there's the X factor.
Yeah, there's a lot of thing about coaching. Coaching is not what you know on field. It's also how you treat your players, your relationship with your players.
Yeah.
And a good example was with Alistair Sigala. I mean, you could see. I mean, how he mentioned the staff around him. Everybody's playing their role on field, off field. All those things contribute towards your success.
Yeah. Falls Bay is up against Marties this weekend, Jerome, and Durban are going to be up against UCT. You've got 4 monster teams there. This is going to be big. Falls Bay and Marties. There's no home ground advantage for anybody this weekend. But
yeah, I don't know. I think Marties did well against Unimo at Unimo last week or a week ago.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of emotion in Falls Bay. Remember when Jono was on the show with us last, he said he's finishing off with rugby. So I think there's going to be a lot of emotion for Falls Bay doing it for Jono. But sometimes again, like emotions doesn't win you games, and you can only go so far. And I mean, the students are known for good running rugby, and Falls Bay with their big pack of forward. So I think it's going to be two different type of games, Nazim.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be close to call, eh? It's not going to be easy.
And you'll take Nazim on the Durban UCT game. Remember, folks, just remember something. Durban are still currently the reigning champions. They are still the ones that are the 2019 Super League A Club Rugby champions. They'll be using that.
Yeah, I think the matchup is good. I mean, you have the students against that big pack of forwards and that strong team. I mean, that is what you want. You want to see different, contrasting, a different style of play.
Yeah. Right, folks. Well, it's all to play for this weekend. False Bay and Marties, Durban and UCT, Helderberg, Bellar, Hands and Hearts and St. George's, and then, of course, in Super League C, it's Strand and Carlamore, CPUT and Macassar. Nazim, before we go, your coaching courses, that's been going so well this year. when's your next coaching course?
JP, I'm very happy with the coaches coming through our courses up till now. Our next course will be on the 28th of October, level 1. And from there onwards, it's almost every week we'll have a course.
Yeah. People can, of course, go to the website and apply, and forms automatically get sent to you. And but one of the things important that they have to do is their World Rugby passport.
Yeah, it's so easy to do it now. You just need to register. And all the information is available online. Just register, log on to it, do your online test, and then just come to the course.
And one of the things I think for people to know is that you don't have to do it all in one go. You can register, start the passports, the certificate, the online process, save, come back.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, for level 1, there's 6 online tests that you need to do. You don't have to do it all in one. You can do it over different weeks or different days. And as long as you, when you attend the course, you're done with all the online tests, then you can come.
Yeah, well, that's great stuff. We'll, of course, keep reminding everybody, get involved with coaching. That's that entry-level World Rugby level 1. You've got World Rugby 7s. You've got strength and conditioning as well. This is one a lot of people can do.
Yeah, strength and conditioning course. The next one will be on the 4th of November.
All right.
So whoever is there, out there, please apply. There's still place available. And
it's great to do the strength and conditioning course. You can take it home with you. You can then do strength and conditioning at your gym. Jerome, great having you on the show as always. Good luck for the weekend. You got a plan?
Yeah,
City
no,
Park?
we fortunately we off this week, so it's actually perfect timing. So I think myself and Nazim will be at City Park, and hopefully, JP, we played last week. We had 8 club players playing in the
under 21
side.
Wow!
And they did really well. So, I mean, we're out there this week again. Hopefully, we'll see a few more guys.
Yeah, Nazim, congratulations on the performance so far with the under 21s. Great stuff.
Yeah, I think JP is like Jerome said, there's quite a number of club players also getting opportunities, and it's always a good incentive for our clubs to do well. So hopefully we can get more coming through the ranks.
Looking forward to it. Right, folks, that's a wrap from us. As always, have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.